Which procedure is recommended to prevent or overcome special disorientation? Answer: rely on the indications of the flight instruments. Pilots should take care when retrieving charts or dropped objects in the cockpit to avoid. Answer: Coriolis illusion. Without visual aid, a pilot often interprets centrifugal forces as a sensation of rising or falling. Abrupt head movement during a prolonged constant rate turn in IMC or simulated instrument conditions can cause. Answer: Coriolis illusion. A pilot is more subject to spatial disorientation if. Answer: body signals are used to interpret flight attitude. You good?
Yeah.
How can an instrument pilot best overcome spatial disorientation? Answer: properly interpret the flight instruments and act accordingly. Rapid acceleration during takeoff can create the illusion of. Answer: being in a nose up attitude. How can an instrument pilot best overcome spatial disorientation? Answer: read and interpret the flight instruments and act accordingly. An abrupt change from climb to straight and level flight can create the illusion of. Answer: tumbling backwards. Which system is most likely responsible for the suffering of spatial disorientation? Answer: vestibular system. A sloping cloud formation on an obscured horizon and a dark scene spread within ground lights and stars can create the illusion known as false horizons. The sensation which lead to spatial disorientation during instrument flight conditions must be suppressed and complete reliance placed on indications of the flight instruments. Sensory system responsible for most illusions leading to spatial disorientation is the vestibular system. Which statement is correct regarding the use of cockpit lighting for night flights? Answer: the use of regular white light, such as a flashlight, will impair night adaptation. What effect does haze have on the ability to see traffic or terrain features during flight? Answer: haze creates the illusion of being a greater distance than actual from the runway and causes pilots to fly a lower approach. Due to visual illusion, when landing on a narrower than usual runway, the aircraft will appear to be, answer, higher than actual, leading to lower than normal approach. How should a pilot scan for traffic during straight and level flight? Answer: systematically focus on different segments of the sky for short intervals. Looking through haze makes objects appear to be further away than they actually are. What visual illusion creates the same effect as a narrower than usual runway? Answer: upsloping runway. The presence of night vision. To preserve night vision, the most appropriate cockpit lighting is reducing the interior lighting intensity to a minimum level. Why is hypoxia particularly dangerous during flights with one pilot? Answer: symptoms of hypoxia may be difficult to recognize before the pilot's reactions are affected. Which is not a type of hypoxia? Answer: hypertoxic. If you experience tunnel vision and cyanosis, you may have the symptoms of. Answer: hypoxia. What action should be taken if hyperventilation is suspected? Answer: consciously breathe at a slower rate than normal. Carbon monoxide poisoning, common in flying as a result of an exhaust leak, is considered what type of hypoxia? Answer: hypemic. Hyperventilation occurs when? Answer: an excessive amount of air is breathed into the lungs. The corrective action to overcome the symptoms of hyperventilation is to? Answer: slow breathing rate. Which of the following is a correct response to counteract the feelings of hypoxia in flights? Answer: promptly descend altitude. Promptly descend altitude. An experienced pilot trying to meet a schedule. Answer: can fail to perceive operational pitfalls. Why is fatigue hazardous to flight safety? Answer: fatigue may not be apparent to a pilot until serious errors are made. A pilot's IFR experience expires on July 1st of this year. What is the latest date the pilot can meet IFR experience requirements without having to undergo an instrument proficiency check? Answer: December 31st this year. When are you required to have an instrument rating for flying in VMC? Flight into Class A airspace. What portion of dual instruction time may a certified instrument flight instructor log as instrument flight time? Answer: all time during which the instructor acts as an instrument instructor in actual instrument weather conditions. Which time may be logged as instrument time when on an instrument flight plan? Answer: only time that the aircraft is controlled solely by reference to flight instruments. Mr. Pilot who has not logged any instrument time in 1 year or more may not serve as pilot in command under IFR unless the pilot answer passes an instrument proficiency check in the category of aircraft involved, given an approved FAA examiner, instrument instructor, or FAA inspector. A certified commercial pilot who carries passengers for hire at night or in excess of 50 nautical miles is required to have an instrument rating in the same category or class of the aircraft. No pilot may act as pilot in command of an aircraft under IFR weather conditions less than minimums prescribed for VFR, unless that pilot has, within the preceding 6 calendar months, completed at least 6 instrument approaches, holding procedures, intercepting and tracking courses using navigational systems, or passed an instrument proficiency check. What minimum conditions are necessary for the instrument approaches required for IFR currency? The approaches may be made in an aircraft, flight simulator, or flight training device. To meet minimum requirements, required instrument flight experience to act as pilot in command of an aircraft under IFR, you must have logged within the preceding 6 calendar months in the same category of aircraft. Answer: holding procedures, intercepting, and tracking courses through the use of navigational systems and 6 instrument approaches. What recent instrument flight experience requirements must be met before you may act as pilot in command of an airplane under IFR? Answer: a minimum of 6 instrument approaches in an airplane or approved simulator or flight training device within the 6 preceding calendar months. Under what conditions must a pilot in command of a civil aircraft hold at least an instrument rating? Answer: for a flight in VFR conditions while on an IFR flight plan. Which limitation is imposed on the holder of a commercial pilot certificate if that person does not hold an instrument rating? Answer: carrying for hire of passengers on cross-country flights is limited to 50 nautical miles, and such flight at night is prohibited. The pilot in command of a civil aircraft must have an instrument rating only when operating under IFR in weather conditions less than minimum VFR flight or Class A airspace. Pilot has an IFR flight plan for July 10th of this year. What is the earliest date the pilot can meet the IFR experience requirements without having to take IFR proficiency check? Answer: January 10th of this year. What are the minimum qualifications for a person who acts as safety pilot during a simulated instrument flight? Private pilot certificate with appropriate category and class rating for the aircraft. How long does a pilot meet the recency of experience requirements for IFR flight after successfully completing an instrument proficiency check if no other IFR flights are made? Answer: 6 calendar months. Do regulations permit you to act as pilot in command of an airplane in IMC if you hold private pilot certification with ASEL rotorcraft category with helicopter class rating and instrument helicopter rating? Answer: no. You must hold either unrestricted airline transport pilot airplane certificate or an airplane instrument rating. After your recent experience lapses, how much time do you have before you must pass an instrument proficiency check to act as a pilot in command under IFR? Answer: 6 months. To meet the instrument experience requirements of CFR Part 61, Section 61.57C, pilot enters the condition of flight in the pilot logbook as simulated instrument conditions. What other qualifying information must also be entered? Location and type of each instrument approach completed, and the name of the safety pilot. What additional instrument experience with the preceding 6 calendar months is required to meet the requirements to act as pilot in command under IFR if you already have 3 hours in the approved simulator, including holding and intercepting and tracking courses, and two instrument approaches in an airplane? Answer: another 4 instrument approaches in the same category and class. What are the requirements to log an ILS approach in VMC conditions for instrument currency? Answer: the ILS approach can be credited only if you use a view limiting device and log the name of the safety pilot. To carry passengers for hire in an airplane on a cross-country flight of more than 50 nautical miles from the departure airport, the pilot in command is required to hold at least, answer, a commercial pilot certificate with instrument rating.